YouTube Nation Familia, what's going on? Welcome to a brand new edition of Who's Lucy, brought to you by J&J Toy Giants. I am your host, JD, and I'm going to be going over some brand new loose figures that I've actually picked up, and we're going to be going over that in just a minute of what those are, but wanted to give a shout out to all of our newer viewers and also our returning viewers, of course. But if you're just new, looking at the channel for the very first time, thank you so very much. Check out our playlist if you want to watch any of our other Who's Lucy episodes. Got all kinds of stuff there. And let's get to the toy review. Let's start the video. Starting off with the Who's Lucy episode is GM McFoley. This was off of the Battle Pack Series number 49 with him and Stephanie McMahon. And I will drop the pictures so you can see exactly what it looks like. I don't recall when exactly that the Battle Pack Series finished. I know that from what I'm seeing in the stores now, the Battle Pack series is now done away with, and they're now doing the Showdown series. So you can actually go, and if you see two figures, it's part of like the Showdown series. There have been many of them recently within the last year or so, but Battle Pack series are no longer being done anymore. So I actually got this off of Whatnot and from Fig Heel. So wanted to give a shout out to Fig Heel, one of the most prolific wrestling figure collectors out in North America. I'm not sure of the world, but I know in North America for real though. But he does have multiple outlets that you can get figures from him. He does sell them on Amazon. He has his own Amazon store, eBay, and of course his Whatnot stream where I got these figures that I'm going to be going over with you today. But this is GM McFoley. This was done on in 2017 when this came out. So I don't know if you can see that. But it was just a very basic figure. I never had a GM in my collection, so I decided I'd start with McFoley. He is very hard to stand up. I actually tried to use one of my stands, but was not working. So you may have to get a stand for him. So the only way I could kind of stand him up is to have him like lean a little forward here, so you can actually stand him up. But his articulation, that of a basic. All right, the legs don't go this way or that way like an elite would go. It just goes forward and back. He's got some C-grip hands through here. But yeah, I mean, I think it was the only figure that had his poofy hair kind of like that when he was GM. But it's a cool figure, so let's go to the next one. All right, and next on the Who's Lucy video is the Junkyard Dog, JYD, and also again got this off of Whatnot. It's a pretty cool figure. I do have a lot of like Legends and Hall of Fame guys. I don't have a lot of them from like the early Silver Age of WWF days, because they no longer have that moniker because of the World Wildlife Federation. But this is through Elite Series 33, so this is a very, very early Elite figure. I don't have any of the accessories. I'm going to have to look for that to see if I can get those, but I think it comes with a dog chain. You can see the picture right here, Elite Series 33. It's pretty cool. I mean, probably would need a little bit of fig bath, or maybe just like some wiping down or a magic eraser. You may get a lot of that junk off. But as for a Elite Series figure, it actually is pretty decent. It's not really that wobbly. You can tell it is a little wobbly, but that's what happens when you buy figures loose. You know, they have been played with or displayed. They're not in the box, so they might be a little wobbly, but that's pretty cool. Even Fig Heel, when he sold it to me when I won it off of his Whatnot stream, did say, yeah, it's a little wobbly, but it's probably good condition as you can find a loose figure. So this is what Junkyard Dog looks like. You can tell he's losing a little bit of the paint on his hair. He's got the JY Dog, so Junkyard Dog, on his tights. So He's had a couple of, I don't even know, does he even have a legend? Yeah, he does have a legend. There's one of the most recent legends that came out um, most recently, like within the last month or so. Yeah, that would be Legend Series number 12. That was the one that came out, and he's wearing red tights, along with, he comes with the same dog chain. I don't know if it was just the same mold that they used for the dog chain. They may have done that because it's, if you can reuse an actual mold for, figures, is what I've learned so far. If you can reuse a mold of any figures that you've had before, especially with accessories, it saves the company a lot of money, rather than to create a brand new one again and retool it. So hats off to Mattel. And yeah, so it says Thump. I don't know why he used to say Thump all the time. Anyone in the who are really, really like knowledgeable of that era of the wrestling business that during that time, leave me a comment in the comment section as to why you'd always used to use the word Thump. But yeah, let's go to the next one. All right, so the next one that we're going to go over with you that I got off of Fig Heel's Whatnot stream is Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt is the basic. I actually have another Elite Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt as well, and I believe I have unboxed him before, so check that out. And I'm going to leave the link of that other Bray Wyatt in the comment section, but this is off of the Basic Series 111. Yes, they've had more than 111 Basic Series so far. So the only difference, and I'll pull up the picture of the one that I have, and you can see the difference between this one that I am holding right now. Not really anything dissimilar from the head sculpt, because like I said before, if they can reuse a mold for anything, that saves them money from having to retool it and, create a new one, because it does cost a lot of money to make brand new parts. And so the only difference really is just he's not wearing any gloves on this one, and the pants are a lot darker as far as tan wise, and the shirt's a little darker as well. So not bad. This one's kind of scuffed up a little bit, but a little TLC will go a long way. This came out in what year? 2020. So this came out in 2020. Why did I get another Bray Wyatt basic when I already have him? Well, actually, no. This is the first basic I have of him, but I already had a Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt already. Why did I buy this one? Just because I wanted to. There's no rhyme or reason. I was like, I never had that Bray Wyatt. I might as well get it. And now a lot of these older Bray Wyatts are going to be going up in price because now he's back wrestling under a new gimmick. He's still using the name Bray Wyatt, but it's not going to be the Fiend anymore. That as far as we know. Yeah, I mean, definitely liking that fact that I have this different Bray Wyatt add to my collection. Also has C-grip hands on the right hand, but it has a fist on the left hand. So that's another difference between that and the Elite, is that the Elite has open fists or open hands. And I don't believe he has any C-grips. I have to double check that. But yeah, so another great purchase from Fig Heel. Let's go to the last one. All right, so wrapping up this edition of Who's Lucy, brought to you by Fig Heel, because all of these purchases were from the Fig Heel Whatnot stream, is the Defining Moments Ricky the Dragon Steamboat Series 3. Again, these are all loose figures, so it did not come with any of this accessories, which I'm currently in the midst of trying to find all his accessories by themselves, but it'll probably be better off to buy another figure with the accessories, but that's the only thing I'm showing right now. This particular figure is not as much loose. If you have all the accessories loose, there have been a couple of eBay stuff that I've been looking at that have all of his accessories, but with the figure as well. So sometimes that's just a game that you got to play when you're looking for accessories. If you can't find them, you might have to buy the figure all over again. But we shall see. So this is an Elite just like Junkyard Dog. Mattel, this was, I believe, Mattel's first attempt at making figures after the Jakks licensing had ceased, because Jakks was at, for a very, very long time, from the I would say mid 90s all the way up to the early 2000s, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but once the Jakks license had ceased, and it was around the Ruthless Aggression era, that's when they kind of like stopped, because I think the last Jakks stuff that they had were the Titantron. But then Defining Moments was the first one that Mattel started putting out, and then, like I said, this is the Defining Moments Series 3. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So this was his gimmick back when he came back from WCW. So just to give you a quick recap of, Ricky Steamboat's career, was that he was in the NWA for the very long time, and then he went to WCW and had a stint almost towards the end of his career, or no, the middle of his career, because he started very young. Then he came back to the WWE because remember that WrestleMania 3 match that he had with Macho Man Randy Savage, which is still to this day considered one of the greatest wrestling matches in the WrestleMania history ever, was that match. And then in the early 90s, he came back after he came back from WCW, but then he started to have this gimmick. They had these featurettes, if I believe they had some like featurettes of him blowing fire. Obviously he's the dragon, and he had these dragon fins on his belt, or his boots rather, and then he had the other accessories, which I'll show you what it looks like here in the Defining Moments. And I think when I first saw him back in the WWF at that time was during SummerSlam 91. And that's when they had the big, 8-man tag. And it was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Texas Tornado, who else? Yeah, it was an 8-man tag of Ricky the Dragon, Virgil, who else? British Bulldog. So Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Texas Tornado, Virgil, and Bulldog. So he was still wearing this gear at that point in time, and he is a Hall of Famer. He had that match with Chris Jericho in one of the WrestleManias. I believe it was WrestleMania 25 is when they had that match, and he was the one that actually had like a little feud with Chris Jericho at the time, during that time frame. And yeah, so being in this particular Elite series, or not, it's not an Elite, I should say that, because they look like an Elite. See, they're so very similar as far as like the way that they move, the articulations and everything like that. So this Defining Moments is what actually started, or the Defining Moments series was actually got into the Elite series. So this was pretty much the kind of like the test to see if Mattel could produce some newer articulated figures for WWE. I think they did pretty well. And this was, I think, the only time where Ricky the Dragon Steamboat had the big flowy hair. Usually he keeps his hair like very, very short, not long. So yeah, so this is a really great figure. And again, as I'm wrapping this up here, please guys, check out Fig Heel on YouTube, whatnot. Check out his eBay store, check out his Amazon store as well. He is a great collector. I mean, the dude has everything. There's a videos when I actually first saw him and knew of him from the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. When I would watch their videos, then they would show suggested videos on there as well. And then I saw Fake Heel, and then I saw one of his videos that he did. It was a room tour, and that dude's collection is, oh my god, it was so good. So definitely check him out, Fig Heel.